What's going on here after family? I go by HereAfter Ous. Before we take off, man, bring it back. Hit that like, comment, subscribe. Comment a video down below if you want me to react to it, and I'll watch it. You know what I mean? I'm out here just trying to promote and preach the word. And look, I'm trying to learn. You're here to learn. We're diving deep for this information. We're diving deep in the ocean for this information. We're flying high in the sky for this information. But here we in dunya. You know what I mean? So we're going to use our resources to grow spiritually and to have that faith in Iman in God. You know what I mean? So this is the book I go by. There's other books. You know, you got the Bible, you got the Torah. There's a lot of other religions, man. I just say, focus on what you believe in. You know what I mean? Do your research and let's get to it. All right. Today, the video we watching is called Embryo equals Leech. We're going to look at this video and we're going to see what the Quran has to say about the embryo and the leech and how this information was derived before the technology was here. You know what I mean? This is the complete guide. This is a complete manual for your life. So if you're here at the family, if you're in the gang, astaghfirullah, not even the gang. If you're in the family, right? Let me know down below if you're down with me, if you're rocking with me, man. If you're with the movement, my day one squad. Let's get it.
The statements we're about to show you are from the Holy Quran and is said to be the official, unchanged, pure word of God, revealed over 1400 years ago. Claiming to be the word of God is a heavy statement, and without proof, or if a single contradiction is found within the book, the apparent word of God will be proven false. So without further ado, let's put the book to the test. In the 23rd chapter, titled The Believers, from the 12th to the 14th verses, God is said to give a detailed description of how the human being is formed. It begins by saying, "We then placed him as a sperm drop in a place of settlement, firmly fixed. Then we made the drop into a alaqa." We will translate this word very soon. "And then we changed the alaqa into a lump. Then we made out of that lump into bones. And then we clove the bones with flesh. Then we caused him to grow and come into being and attain the definitive human form." In the 21st century, we can now safely say that this verse is clearly describing the process of human development in correct chronological order. However, what we should be paying attention to in particular is the second stage, referring to the development of the embryo. The specific word used to describe the embryo in this verse is the word alaqa. The word alaqa, when translated into English, can mean three separate things. Firstly, a blood clot, or to be suspended, that is to be hanging or clinging to something, or thirdly and finally, a leech. Now, all three definitions don't come anywhere near what we perceive to be the human embryo. So, why are these words used and what significance do they share with the human embryo? Can the embryo be described as a blood clot? Well, what do you think? In the third week of embryonic development, a tubular heart joins with the blood vessels to form a primordial cardiovascular system, and by the end of the third week, the blood is circulating and the heart begins to beat on day 21. The first thing that comes to mind in regards to being suspended or hanging is the umbilical cord. But we can't use that example because we are simply referring to step 2, before the baby has even formed. But we now know today that the umbilical cord is formed from the connecting stalk. And the connecting stalk is formed as soon as the embryo is formed. The embryo's connecting stalk has even been described by John Allen and Beverly Kramer as an object to suspend the developing embryo in the extra-embryonic column. So an embryo is suspended and does have a strong resemblance with a blood clot. What on earth would an embryo have to do with a leech? Figure A shows the structure of an embryo at 25 days. Figure B shows the leech. Now please note once again that the embryo in this stage is no greater than the size of a kernel of wheat.
They look identical.
This is an X-ray of the embryo at 22 days.
Identical.
This is the internal structure of a leech. It's mind-blowing stuff, but you still haven't seen anything yet. This is the head of the embryo at 22 days. The detail you are seeing right now is absolutely impossible to be seen with the human eye and can only be seen with a microscope. This is the back end of a leech. There's no other words used to describe this other than mind-blowing. The pictures we have shown you are impossible to be seen with the human eye or even to be predicted by the human mind. Once again, the verses we have shown you were revealed over 1400 years ago to a man who couldn't read nor write. Are these the words of God?
Descriptions of the human embryo in the Quran cannot be based on scientific knowledge in the 7th century. The only reasonable conclusion is that these descriptions were revealed to Muhammad from God, from God, from God, from God, from God, from God.
Wow. Hereafter family, man. That video was so powerful. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section, man. Because this video showed you proof that the Quran stated facts about our life and our development way before there was the technology for us to know 1400 years ago, where they did not have the technology to find out how the embryo develops in the human body. Why is it still relevant today? Because it was never altered, it was never changed, there's no different versions of the book. So the Quran was derived from God via Gabriel to Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad couldn't read or write, right? He couldn't read or write, but he memorized the Quran. Once he memorized the Quran, they put it in writing. And that Quran has not been changed, has not been altered, right? And there's verses in the Quran, as you saw in this video. These verses are still relevant today. We got professors from Yale and Harvard that did studies on the Quran. They said the quotes and verses in the Quran describes the human embryo. It was derived 1400 years ago. There's no way humans had the technology to figure that out. And millions of Muslims around the world memorize the Quran. So we know it. I don't know it personally. I'm still working on that, alright? Don't bid. I'm still working on that, alright? So there's millions of Muslims around the world that memorize the Quran. So if every single Quran got destroyed today, we have it in our memory. A lot of Muslims have it in our memory. My dad memorized the Quran. Our knowledge, our book will never be altered, will never be changed. And that's just what it is. And that's 1400 years ago, man. If you got questions about Islam and you want to know more about the religion, hit me up. You can hit me up in my DM. I'm open to answer any questions. Again, I respect all religions. I respect all walks of life. And I believe in that God derived different books at different times to different nations. So you're entitled to believe in what you believe in. Just I say, love your religion, respect your religion, do your research, and practice your religion. I'm out.
Give thanks to Allah for the moon and the stars. Praise Him all day for what is and what was. Take hold of your Iman.